Hi guys, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Ryan, and we're really big Taylor Swift fans.
On our podcast, She Never Goes Out of Style, we'll be talking all things Taylor Swift.
From albums to videos and her inspiring life, we'll cover it all.
Hi everyone! Today we are going to be talking about TS3, Speak Now.
Speak Now is the same genre as Debut and Fearless, and it has 14 country songs. However, a couple of the songs on here could be categorized as having kind of like a more pop-punk or even rock sound.
Taylor is the only credited writer on every single song on Speak Now. She decided to write every song on her own after many critics claimed that she couldn't write her own songs.
This album was released on October 25th, 2010. It was another fall release. It debuted at number 1 on the U.S., selling 1,047,000 units during the week 1, with all the songs charting on the Billboard Hot 100.
There are 6 singles on this album: Mine, Back to December, Mean, The Story of Us, Sparks Fly, and Ours. Sparks Fly is a U.S. country number 1 hit, and so is Ours.
Speak Now was nominated for many awards, including Best Country Album at the Grammys, Album of the Year at both the Academy Country Music Awards and the American Country Awards, and Top Country Album at the Billboard Awards. It won awards like Favorite Country Album at the AMAs, Top Country Album at the BBMAs, and Top Selling Album at the CCMAs.
There was a Speak Now World Tour. It was international throughout 2011. It started on February 9th, 2011 in Singapore and ended on March 18th, 2012 in New Zealand. There were 110 shows, and critics claimed that Taylor's 2-hour production was an overwhelming experience and that it kept them transfixed the whole time. It was the highest grossing female solo tour of 2011.
That's so impressive.
I know.
Okay, so I don't have many personal experiences related to Speak Now, but it's definitely one of my favorite albums of hers, just because all of the songs are so personal and you can feel her emotions through every single one. One personal experience that I do remember, though, is Back to December used to be one of my mom's all-time favorite songs. And every time we were in the car or just hanging out at the house, this song would be playing. And I remember that I tried so hard to learn all the lyrics, and I loved singing along to it. And it was just such a good song, and it still is.
For sure.
I think it's so crazy that Taylor is the only credited writer on every song, and I love that Speak Now was kind of an album that showed critics and people that weren't fans that she is 100% capable of writing an amazing album all on her own. It just shows us once again how incredibly talented she is. And a lot of these songs, like I said, are so meaningful and personal. I think that's why a lot of her fans have such a connection to this album. So, yeah.
Definitely. And for me, I actually went to this concert. I originally thought that I had gone to the rodeo in 1989. And then when I was looking at the photo, I said, there is no way this was taken when I was 12. So I figured it out, and it was the Speak Now concert. And when we initially started this, I knew I had been to 2, and so thank goodness for my research so I could figure out the right one. Because I had a vivid memory of her singing Haunted and Sparks Fly, but I didn't realize it was on this tour until I watched some videos of the Speak Now tour, and I realized that I saw it the way that those videos were showing. So that was interesting. And this was my favorite album for a very long time. It's still one of my favorites, and one that I probably know the most lyrics to overall, just throughout all the years of me always going back to this album. Yes, I definitely know a ton of these lyrics, most of them. And I love the range of this album. She wrote a lot of autobiographical songs about a lot of very different parts of her life. It talks about Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Joe Jonas, and Kanye West. And it's so interesting because in this span from Fearless and Speak Now, she had so many new things to talk about, and her relationships with all of these men were incredibly different, and so I think that led to a really diverse album.
Yeah, definitely.
So next, we're going to go into our favorites, starting with Innocent. And this song is about the incident at the 2009 VMAs when Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech. That event really affected Taylor Swift emotionally and humiliated both her and Kanye. The first time anyone heard this song was actually when she performed it at the 2010 VMAs, which I think is a total power move. Like, get humiliated in 2009 and then, bam, perform this new incredible song in 2010.
At the VMAs, too.
Exactly, right. And the Kanye West situation at the 2009 VMAs was just awful. Young women never have it easy in the spotlight, with critics and others on social media constantly judging and making comments on every little thing they do. And after the Kanye situation, it got 100 times worse for Taylor. What Kanye West did when he interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech was not only insult and embarrass her, but it opened the door for others to do so in a very open manner. There were so many components to the situation that affected Taylor deeply, and I think it's so unfair to her when people don't even attempt to understand what she went through in that situation. If you watch the video, you can hear the crowd booing Kanye, but Taylor thought they were booing her. Imagine that. Like, that would mess with my head so bad. I don't know how I would recover from that. Anyway, back to the song. I'm incredibly impressed with her ability to talk about the incident in such a mature manner and even call Kanye West innocent. Once again, Taylor Swift, 10 out of 10 storytelling.
I totally agree with you. I will forever be upset about what happened at the VMAs because, I'm pretty sure this was Taylor's first ever VMA because she had been nominated before, but I don't think she had ever won one. And so it was clear in the video that she was so excited to, be getting her first VMA.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember her saying, I was so excited because I'd won my VMA, and then I was so excited because Kanye was on the stage, and I love Kanye. And then he took the mic away from her and kind of crushed all that feeling of excitement got crushed. And, I just think it's terrible because, she was just a 19-year-old girl who was so excited that she was finally living her dream, and he felt entitled to be able to get up there and take the mic away from her just because she was young, and he felt, more power over that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this drama followed her for so long really is just so disappointing because it's still going on with, Kanye fans who are like, oh, we hate Taylor Swift, she's terrible.
Or Kanye made Taylor Swift famous.
Yeah, even though she was literally accepting an award.
Exactly.
I think kind of in a way, this drama has kind of tainted her career because, like I said, people are still, holding this against her even though it obviously wasn't her fault. And like you said, it's incredibly hard for women in the industry to make a name for themselves, and they have to work 10 times harder. And Taylor has worked harder than most, but this incident kind of put a target on her back. As for the song itself, I really do love this song, and I love how in the beginning she says, "Wasn't it beautiful when you believed in everything and everyone believed in you?" And I think it just goes to show that even though people at the VMAs were booing Kanye, she believed that they were booing her, and that kind of crushed her spirit. In her documentary, Miss Americana, Taylor said that the booing made her whole belief system shatter, and she kind of didn't know how to recover from it. But I think the song talks about it in such a beautiful way, and how she thought it was easier when she was unaware of all the hate in the world, and she was kind of like, I'm on top of the world because I'm doing so good, and then, then she wasn't anymore.
The next song is very different. We're going on to Sparks Fly. Taylor Swift wrote this song when she was 16, before her debut album even came out. She performed it live before, and to no surprise, it became popular with fans. And actually, fans requested she put it on the album, and Taylor listened. It was the opening song in the Speak Now tour. And honestly, that makes so much sense now that I'm listening to it again. It totally gives off, debut vibes. I love this song, and similar to many of the songs in her previous albums, it's about falling for someone you probably shouldn't, but you do anyway because of the incredible chemistry between you two. And I actually have a painting in my room that says, "I see sparks fly whenever you smile," because I think it's one of her sweetest lyrics and one of like the more like pure lyrics. It's just very direct and sweet, and it makes me smile when I hear it. I just think it's honest and cute. And someone saying that about your smile is one of the cutest compliments. When I was a kid, the thing that people would always mention, like, "Oh, your kid has such a cute, like, smile and, like, nice dimples," and all that, like, about me. That was, like, the one thing people would mention, like, compliment me about. And so I kind of, like, latched on to this lyric about complimenting a cute smile. And so I have known this lyric, like, kept it near and dear to me since I was very little.
That's so sweet. I love that lyric too. It's so cute. I also love Sparks Fly so much. You know, it's, like you said, it's really such a cute song, even though it's like falling for someone you shouldn't fall for. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of a common theme throughout a lot of her songs when you think about it. I like how in the first chorus she says, "You're the kind of reckless that should send me running, but I kind of know that I won't get far." I think that lyric is, you know, a perfect example of falling for someone who you shouldn't fall for, but you're, like, just so captivated by them that you can't help it. And it's just such a cute song because she clearly likes this person so much. And like you said, the smile lyric is just so close to my heart because it's just adorable.
Mm-hmm. Next song is Back to December. And this is actually the very first song Taylor has ever written that is an apology. She said that she never felt the need to apologize in a song, but in this song, she had to because she was in a relationship where someone treated her perfectly, but she treated him carelessly. And of course, as we all know, this song is speculated to be about Taylor Lautner. Just thinking about Taylor squared makes me smile. I love this song because it really shows a side of Taylor we haven't seen before. She writes a lot of her experiences, and it means a lot that she wrote about when she was in the wrong. It's just another song to me where you can really see that she's human. You know, she's not a celebrity that acts like, "Oh, I never make mistakes, I'm perfect," and, you know, you can separate the art that they create from the person they are. Taylor and her art, I think, is like one and the same, you know? And so I love listening to it. You know, she's made mistakes in her relationships too, just like other people have. But she's sorry, and she wishes it would have turned out differently because he didn't deserve the way she treated him. So just another lovely song that makes her more human.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Back to December is probably one of my favorite Taylor songs ever, just because it's so perfectly heartbreaking, just like all of her songs are, honestly. But like you said, it is something that really shows us that she's human, and I love that you brought up how her work is one in her own, because we're getting the re-recordings.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
I'm so excited, because her music really is her. Like, you know, she puts her heart and soul into this music, and this album especially, because it was all by herself. But yeah, you know, when you do something wrong, it's kind of hard to admit that you're wrong. But I think this song is a really good representation of seeing someone that you hurt and owning up to the pain you may have caused. And, like, the lyrics say swallowing your pride and saying you're sorry, or, like, missing that person and reliving all the moments of hurt and happiness. Like, it's just an emotionally draining experience for both sides. And Taylor was able to depict it so well in this song, and I just think it's really beautiful. It is nice to see a different side of her life where she shows us that she messes up too. I, like seeing that because it's like, oh, I'm not alone. Like, I've, messed up many times. And it's nice to see that the people I look up to, make mistakes and are able to own up to those mistakes. And like I said, it's a heartbreaking song, and I've definitely spent many nights crying to Back to December. The next song is Haunted. And this song is kind of about watching someone you're in love with quickly fade away. She wrote this song actually in the middle of the night when she was dealing with this problem. And she said that she wanted the orchestration of the song overall to reflect intense heartbreak and tragedy that she was feeling at the time. She described the feeling as, a chaotic feeling of confusion. And I just think that's so cool. I love Haunted, and it's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. And, she sounds so emotional, and I think that because she wanted that feeling to really be brought out in the song, she did such a good job doing that, especially in the orchestra part. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole song. It's so good. And I think it tells such a good story. She was so entranced with this person, and she ultimately became haunted by them as they began to leave her life. And, when they were gone, she felt like she couldn't breathe without them. Like, it's just it's a really good story of how someone can take over your life so much that when they're gone, you just don't know what to do with yourself. And, they haunt you.
Mm-hmm. I love this song. It's definitely my current favorite. I love the beginning so much. It's so powerful. And when I listen to it, you can really feel the struggle in the music, the anxiety. You hear the desperation in her voice, in the, come on, don't leave me like this. And like you said, the can't breathe when you're gone. She was really consumed by this love, and she wasn't ready for it to be over. And I think it's one of her truest heartbreak songs. She was really genuinely heartbroken that this guy doesn't love her anymore, and we can all feel the pain through the song. It's one of those where it's like you're going through it with her because of how painfully she sings it, Painfully good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Definitely.
Next is Dear John. This song is about everyone's least favorite, John Mayer. You could literally ask any Taylor Swift fan who their least favorite Taylor Swift ex-boyfriend is, and I can almost guarantee you that they will say John Mayer because of this song. She described this song as like the last email you would write to an ex but never send. And then she said, putting this song on the album was like hitting send in a way.
Oh, I think it was such a power move.
Oh, yes, for sure. It's just such a sad song. She goes into a lot of detail about the truly abusive behavior she endured, and it's really sad. It makes me sad that she was so in love with him that she ignored her mom's warning. She ignored the fact that he had treated other girls horribly in the past. She was blinded by this love that she played in his dark, twisted games, like she says in the song. And she believed his sorries. Also, hearing about the age gap just makes it disgusting. Why would John Mayer treat anyone the way he treated Taylor, but especially someone so much younger than him? And also, as we all know, he whined about this song being mean, but I have no sympathy for him because if he cared about being insulted publicly, then maybe he wouldn't have treated her so poorly.
Especially someone who writes such intense songs.
Exactly. And it's not like he didn't know. She was on a song with him, so they worked together before. It's not like he didn't know her power. So, yeah.
I agree with you. I have no sympathy for him either. The whole situation just breaks my heart each and every time I listen to this song. Just to know how much she went through with this, even though it was only, a short amount of time, it was still so emotionally damaging because she was so young. To know how much she thought she loved him makes me so sad because he was the one to hurt her so bad by, playing these games with her and changing the rules and, doing all these things to hurt her. This song, like you said, shows how blinded she was by her love for him, that he was able to get away with breaking her over and over again. And, it just sucks to hear about what happened because, Taylor's one of my favorite people, and, she was so incredibly young at the time, and John Mayer was 12 years older than her. Mm-hmm. Like, you would think he would have at least some common sense to be like, oh, maybe because I'm in my 30s, I shouldn't be dating a 19-year-old. But, guess that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. The next song is Better Than Revenge. I think this is the real part 2 to Forever and Always because it's again about Joe Jonas, but more about his new girlfriend than him. Joe Jonas dumped Taylor Swift for Camille Bell, And Taylor Swift absolutely slammed her in this song for quote unquote stealing her boyfriend. This song is actually considered pop punk and compared to Misery Business by Paramore, which is an amazing song. I had never listened to it until I read that Better Than Revenge was compared to it, and now I love Misery Business by Paramore.
Oh yes, I love Paramore.
Yes, I have mixed feelings about this song because it is so perfect to scream sing when I'm upset, but the message is not the best. It talks about Camille's sex life very negatively by calling her an actress who is better known for the things that she did on the mattress. And don't get me wrong, this song is sung incredibly, and I love the style and the genre. However, the message makes me a little sad since Taylor knows what it's like to be portrayed negatively by the media simply for having an active love life. So it's sad to see her doing something similar to another young woman.
Yeah, I think you said that really well. I definitely have mixed feelings about this song too because, I love the music and I love to sing along to this song when I'm mad or when I just need to get some emotions out just because, it really is a fun song when you put the message aside. But, like you said, as a woman in the industry who knows what it's like to be spoken about poorly by the media, it kind of makes you wonder why she would, write it so harshly, even though the experience was terrible, But putting the message aside, just for a second, I love this song, and I love the way that she strayed away from her usual kind of country genre and tried a more pop-punk style. I love this song because, to me, it kind of is a foreshadowing to 1989 and songs like Style, because she's getting into that genre and exploring more and realizing that, I don't have to only stay in country, which was kind of cool.
For sure.
And I like that. So, yeah. So the final song is Enchanted. This song was written about Adam Young from Owl City, and it basically just talks about how she was enchanted to meet him and everything that went through her head after they met. She had a lot of questions about if he liked her, if he liked someone else. He actually responded. He sang her song and ended it with, "Taylor, I'll spend my whole life wondering if you knew I was enchanted to meet you too." And that is just so cute. This song is so sweet. And in the beginning, she talks about feeling this anxiety and kind of faking her emotions, until she locks eyes with Adam Young, this one particular person, in the crowd. And after that, she kind of feels all of her insecurities fade away. And I think that that's so cute because she's so entranced by this guy that, she was so anxious, but then she locked eyes with him and she was like, it's all better now. And I just love that so much.
Yes.
I love this song because of how innocent it is, and I love friendships and relationships that make you feel as if all the weight has kind of lifted off your shoulders when you're with this person. Just because a person can make you feel so much better about yourself, and when you're with them, you're doing things like in the song countering quick remarks or having playful conversations. And it's also sweet, and it shows how much one person can lift you off your feet and how it's enchanting to be around them.
Yes, I totally agree. And I love how she used the word enchanted. I just think that's cute. I think this song so accurately portrays the scene of first meeting someone and knowing immediately that you want to know more about them. It's super cute and sweet, and I can almost feel that feeling in my stomach where you finally talked to the person you've been wanting to meet, or because she talks about locking eyes with him and then just waiting to get to talk to him.
Yeah.
And so, you can almost feel that in your stomach, and all you can think about for the rest of the day is that conversation and when the next one will be, and if they felt the same way as you did. And I just think that's adorable, and I think that was a perfect song to end on because it's just so cute.
Yeah.
And I love how he responded. That's just...
It's
so random.
Sweet. It's so random, but it's so sweet.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. So this album, this has been a roller coaster because we've talked about so many different people. and so many like incredibly different songs.
Yeah. Really
So-
such an emotional album, and
Really?
you know, as you go through it, you feel like you feel everything that she was feeling at the time, which is one of my favorite things about listening to Taylor, because you feel like you're along for the ride with her, and it's just it's so nice, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm really excited for her to re-record this.
Me too.
Just because everything on this album, like we've said this 4 times, I think, already, it's so unique, these experiences. And so hearing her recall these very specific parts of her life will be really, really interesting.
Yeah. I
So,
wonder if
yeah.
that'll be weird for her at all, just to be like,
I
oh,
know.
this is how I was feeling at that time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I like how when Love Story came out, the re-recording of Love Story came out after we recorded Fearless. So I'm just going to talk about it right now really quick. Everyone was kind of looking at the way she sang specific lyrics. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be interesting how she sings these lyrics.
Yeah.
Just if there are those specific changes, that mean a lot to the fans.
Yeah. Very excited for that.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening. We are so excited for our next album, and it's going to be a great time. Thanks again.
Thanks for listening to She Never Goes Out of Style.
Check out at She Never Goes Out of Style 13 on Instagram and at TS Podcast 13 on Twitter to see more behind the scenes and ensure you never miss an episode.
She Never Goes Out of Style is written and presented by Ryan Davis and Kathleen Ortiz.
The producer is Kathleen Ortiz.
Music played by Ryan Davis.